see you guys. You guys are fucking patriots. Look at this guy. He's got respect for the doing.
There's 4 million people coming in.
It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming.
What is the cost of lies? It's not that we'll mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all.
Why would I have anything to say to you? All you do is lie.
What else is left but to abandon even the hope of truth and content ourselves instead with stories?
It's the role of good journalism to take on powerful abuses. And when powerful abuses are taken on, there is always a back reaction.
Take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans, right. You're saying that's not gain of function?
That is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
When you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
About is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay?
Welcome back, you wonderful people. It's me, President Trump, the best president. That's why you're watching. I am inhabiting the brain of this small-time streamer to bring to you a very, very special message. The best message. I don't say that. Other people say that. Now, since I have defeated the far-left Democrats and the Russia, and the 15 billion intelligence agencies, I have done so much with my presidency. It's been the best presidency. I have deported millions. I've shut down USAID. I put Elon Musk right in his place. We love Elon here as long as he stays off the ketamine and keeps his little mouth shut. But one thing that has been quite problematic has been the war in Ukraine. Now, after I smacked Zelensky around in the Oval Office, remember that? Wasn't that great? I basically said, why don't you ever say thank you? Why don't you ever wear a suit? You just come in, you expect billions and billions and billions of dollars, getting weapons. He wasn't even paying for them. Now we have new trade deals. We're getting the Europeans to pay for the weapons that Zelensky was getting. That's an incredible deal. We still haven't managed to fix the war with Russia. Now, of course, I've talked to Putin a bunch of times. He's a very, very clever guy. But I basically told him a bunch of times to stop the war. And, he was just stringing me on. He was always talking about, like, security guarantees and an overarching European security infrastructure. What the hell does that even mean, right? I said to him, Vladimir, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. And he was saying to me, what about Zelensky? And I was like, look, it's okay. I'll take care of Zelensky. I've got my best color revolution teams all over it. But now it looks like we might actually have a deal, or at least that seems to be the idea. I sent Steve Witkoff over there. Steve, he's a great guy. To try and really finish the war in Ukraine. Because, of course, we got another war for Israel against Iran, Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, and quite frankly, any other Middle Eastern country that says anything bad about Israel. We're gonna fuck them up. We're going to fuck them up. But it's going to require quite a lot of men and weapons. And we can't be having this war with Ukraine dragging on while we're tearing up the entire Middle East in the name of our greatest ally, the only democracy in the Middle East. I love them so much. Do you see that picture of me when I went over and kissed the wall? Oh, it was delightful. Not many people know this, but the Wailing Wall actually tastes like strawberries. You put your lips right up to it. You give it a big smooch. I gave it a little bit of a lick. I'm not afraid to say that's how much I love the state of Israel. I gave that wall a little bit of a lick. And my God, it tasted like a strawberry kippa. It was amazing. It was amazing. If you ever get the chance, if you're ever important enough, and have anything to do with politics, they make you go over there. I mean, they don't make you. They ask you to go over there. Make sure you give that wall a little bit of a lick. So hopefully, the Ukraine war will be over very, very soon. And then we can absolutely pivot to the next war, the best war, the war for Israel. It's gonna be great. I know we said we weren't gonna do any wars, but you gotta understand. There's wars and there's wars. Thank you so much for watching. I'll leave you back to your rather unimportant streamer. He's much less important than me. I'm very, very important now. Thank you very much and good night. Welcome back, everybody. It's Thursday. You know what time that means. You know what that means. It's time for Habbening TV. Yes, my brain is fully compos mentis. Oh, mate, I did a system update this morning. Totally broke like my entire audio setup. Just broke it. Just broke it. Good thing I did like a pre-stream test, or it wouldn't be even like, so I'm a bit out of sorts. Thank you very much, of course, to President Trump. I was not aware that the Wailing Wall tasted of strawberries. You learn something new every day. Tonight we have, yes, there are rumors, there are rumblings, phones are ringing, email lights are blinking, people are shuffling around in long corridors in the halls of state, being like, have you heard about the Russian peace deal? Have you heard about the American peace deal? Oh, blah, 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 blah. There are rumors alight, flying everywhere. My secret sources inside the deep state, oh yeah, I've got a lot of those, by the way. Oh yeah, have told me that there is apparently some kind of peace deal on the table between America and Russia. Oh my God, microphone is like spiking. Can I get an audio check? Is it working like all right? Is the audio okay? So I had to like reset everything. Anyway, I hope it's all right. It's not like peaking out or anything like that. Where was I? Yes. Because basically, right, any deal is really basically between Russia and the US. It's not really between like Russia and Ukraine at all because, Ukraine doesn't even really sort of have like a functioning government anymore. It's basically sort of a, kind of like weird military dictatorship being sustained by blood from like the EU. But so we'll be going over that. And what are the terms, right? Well, the terms, they don't know like what the terms are, but apparently they've leaked. I don't know. We will be examining, right? We will be poking. We will be wildly speculating because that's what we like to do here. I know that's what you come here for, a bit of wild speculation. Second story tonight is Israel has said that they are going to occupy the Gaza Strip. Now, what this means in practice is they are going to attack Gaza City, right? You might not be aware of this because, obviously the propaganda coming out from Gaza basically sort of says like the entire place is a wasteland. No, not the entire country is a wasteland. Just, I think like 60% of it has been like basically like flattened. There is still Gaza City, which is sort of, I don't know. I mean, this is the point. You're not allowed to take like photos from the air, so nobody really knows. Okay, but Gaza City is still technically a city. There are still like people there, and Netanyahu's come out and been like, "We must." No, wait, doing his voice is annoying. We must. Anyway, he basically says, right, like we got to occupy all of Gaza, which means we got to like attack Gaza City. The IDF are not keen on this idea. They've now been fighting for how many years has this been going on, chat? Can somebody tell me however many years this has been going on, right? The IDF have been basically like fighting constantly. The reserves get very, very little rest. They cycle them out and cycle them back in. There are reports of like rising suicides in the IDF. There's like morale is really, really bad. This could potentially shake the entire Israeli government. there are weird rumblings, right? That like, you know, the government might split in two, the IDF might disobey orders. I don't know, but this is very, very unpopular and a massive escalation. Now, of course, my opinion on this basically is that following the sort of Frankist model, that the way to get the Jewish Messiah to come back is to break everything so utterly that he is forced to step in and repair things. I think this is sort of basically Netanyahu's plan to just like fuck things up so monumentally that the US will have no choice but to step in and then involve itself in a wider theater war. This is one thing that the Israelis and the Ukrainians kind of basically share. Without US intervention, they are screwed. So you know, the entire sort of like strategic thing becomes, how can you get this sort of military behemoth to come in conclusively on the war on your side? And by coming in on your side, I mean like actual boots on the ground, not just this sort of, oh yeah, we'll help with your missile defense and we'll give you like infinite money and shells and stuff like that. No. You need boots on the ground. And our final story tonight, yeah, the UK is, did you know the UK is fucked? I know, I'm surprised as you are. Bros, literally only just discovered this. So, Rachel Reeves' £22 billion black hole, that's an expensive black hole, mate. I bet Bonnie Blue wish she had a fucking black hole that's worth £22 billion, has now ballooned to 55 billion. The black hole is growing, bros, right, under its own gravitational collapse. For some reason, right, that economists around the world are failing to understand, massively hiking taxes and forcing all, you know, getting all the rich to like fuck off and all this kind of stuff has not grown the economy. I was as shocked as you guys were, right? Like, I thought that the way to economic growth was to increase the government even larger, right? And, you know, as I said a few times, the last sort of thing I read was that the UK government fully absorbs 43% of the entire UK economy. 43%? That's not a country, right? That's a government with like stuff sticking out of it and sort of like a, you know, a light windbreaker of an economy sort of wrapped around it, right? What happens when the government grows to be like 50+% of the entire economy, right? Like, why don't they just do a full communism? Apparently, get this, I was talking to Grok. Apparently, not even in the USSR did the government capture this much of the economy. I presume because, you know, back in the USSR, it would be sort of like harder to do, right? Whereas now you've got like electronic payments and all this kind of other stuff that allow the government to capture more and more of your hard-earned dollars. Apparently VAT is going to go up, income tax is going to go up. They got to fill that hole, bros, by continuing to dig downwards. So yes, that's what we got for you tonight. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. On Rumble, we have J. Chiva Loophole, Sede Sapiente, Full Short, good to see you, mate. Patriots Flow, good to see you as well, mate. Livia Drusilla, always lovely to see you. Total Blackout Painting, great to see you, mate. Wyatt's Torch, who else have we got? Is that everybody? I think that's everybody on Rumble. Oh, yes, of course, I will be on Gulag Cafe tonight. We're just going to talk about the white-only spaces thing, because I've had a very, very busy week, and so I haven't had a chance to write anything. So, Yiz is going to take the driving seat on this one. Come along, it should be fun. Anybody else? Oh, and of course, Paladin YYZ. Good to see you, Paladin. I hope you're well, mate. Apparently, Paladin is driving somewhere. Drive safe, mate. Drive safe. I hope you enjoy the podcast. On YouTube, we have the Nameless One, Cyber Chud, Internal Affairs. Good to see you, Sir Chud. Robert Verlinden, good to see you, mate. Arakeen Green Moon, Sunny Jim, Simon JJ. Great to see you back, Simon. Haven't seen you in a while. Ashley Styles. Oh, you came back. Oh, that's nice. Streaky Bacon, LLLL, Otto Stormheart. Anybody else? I think that is everyone. And on Odyssey, Yiz and Total Blackout Painting, double fisting it. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you pushing up the view count. I'm going to be at like 500 subscribers on both Rumble and YouTube very soon, right? Mate, 500 subscribers. That's how you know you've made it, bros. My private island. Oh yes, mention the interview. Yes, if you could post it in the chat. On Tuesday, I did an interview with Aidan Paladin about cultivation theory. She is one of YouTube's bestest known and very friendly social scientists. If you are interested in the idea of, like, you know, do people reading and watching things influence behavior, check it out. It should. Well, it was nice. It was fun. It was meant to be an interview, but it was more of a discussion because I spend so much time doing content like this. It's kind of hard for me to like chill out. I got to like work on that. But yes, it was fun. And I was on Broken Crown last night as well. Oh man, it's been a busy week. I'm working my ass off. Today's meme. Help! I'm getting bitten to death by ants. Not all ants. Academic Agent posted this. I mean, you know, like, look, not all ants. Look, there's good ants and bad ants. Yes, but I'm being stung to death, right? You can't generalize. Like, what are you, an antist or something? Yes, is the link working? If someone can tell us that the link is working, that would be great. What else have we got? Yes. Okay. So right, let's get on with the news. Let me see if I can just get the window up. Right. So the cock and balls of the entire Western world was rocked by the news that Vladimir Putin, the Putla himself, would be meeting apparently with Donaldo El Trumpo. What could it mean, bros? What could it possibly mean? Is a peace deal close? Or is this just more like bloviating because fundamentally the West does not want to acknowledge any of Russia's security interests? There has been a lot of stuff going on recently. Trump just slapped 50% tariffs on India after threatening 100%. Because Trump's sort of like view of tariffs has basically become like sanctions, but tariffs, right? So he's like, if Russia doesn't stop the war, we're not only going to sanction Russia, we're going to sanction every single country that does business with them. Presumably someone took him aside and was like, yeah, you know, that's basically India and China. And I mean, you know, you can sort of get away with doing it to India because we don't trade like a shitload with them. But you can't tariff the shit out of the Chinese. Like the amount of dependency that the US has on China's manufacturing is truly amazing, right? So like 70% of all of their military equipment uses Chinese parts. The US has basically no domestic like rare earth mineral production. So stuff like you know, the really powerful molybdenum, I think they're molybdenum magnets. Oh, I should add that to my vocal warm-up. Imagine trying to say that 10 times. Molybdenum magnets, right? Those the tiny magnets that are really strong. Only China makes those, basically, right? People were warning the US about this, by the way, like 10 years ago. But the US was like, no, look, it's fine. The free market will like take care of it. So the question, of course, is, right, is Russia going to like basically be like, you know, fuck it, like, you know, we'll do a frozen conflict, or are they going to stick to their guns for a sort of permanent security architecture throughout Europe? Nobody knows. Check it out, Fox News.
President Trump reportedly set to meet face-to-face with Russian President Vladimir Putin as early as next week. This comes right off of Steve Witkoff's meeting with Putin. Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy fills us in on this huge development. Hi, Peter.
And Martha, I see the Chiron, we're citing a report. We can confirm that report. I was just in the West Wing, and I'm told that this is what happened. Earlier today in Moscow, Steve Witkoff was told by Vladimir Putin that Putin wants to meet at some point with Trump. Witkoff then relayed that message to the president, who is open to it, the possibility of a meeting as soon as next week, if the result of that meeting will be an end to the war in Ukraine. We know that President Trump was on a phone call with Volodymyr Zelensky and some European leaders. He shared this with all of them. We don't know exactly where in the world it would be. It could be anywhere. Could be at the White House. Could be in a neutral country like Qatar or Switzerland or something, the people that normally host things like this. And I have a statement from Caroline Leavitt, hot off the presses. Haven't seen this anywhere. It says, as President Trump said earlier today on Truth Social, great progress was made during Special Envoy Witkoff's meeting with President Putin. The Russians expressed their desire to meet with President Trump, and the president is open to meeting with both President Putin and President Zelensky. President Trump wants this brutal war to end. And so the emphasis there is on the Russians making this request, but President Trump obviously being open enough to it that there could be a global summit between Putin, Trump, and Zelensky as soon as next week. But there's also a possibility that it slides, and there's also a possibility that it never happens.
Well, that's just great. I tried to fix the thing, and now I've got no monitor, so I can't hear what the fuck's being said. Why must everything be so gay? Why? Why must everything be so gay? Oh, fuck, dude. Wait. Let's see if we can, oh, I don't know how to do it, mate. Oh, God. Fuck. Oh, dude. No, it's died. Wait. Let's try. Let's see. Can you guys still hear me? Let me see if this is working now.
Or in Ukraine, we know.
Okay, I can hear. If everyone can hear, just reset the audio drivers, bro. Right. So yes, I couldn't hear most of that, but yes, basically, right. They're there's gonna be a meeting, right? There's gonna be a meeting between Trump and Putin. Zelensky, of course, is I must come along so that they can drown Putin in my offer of peace. Putin apparently is not too keen on that. His basic position is, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind meeting Zelensky if it's a surrender. Sonny Jim, the Habbening, brought to you by Duct Tape Productions. Yeah, it really is like that. When my stream deck dies, the audio dies. What is it? It's Mossad, isn't it? Right? Mossad is all up in my streaming setup. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Right. So yes, the Kremlin confirmed Trump-Putin meeting is in coming days. Kremlin has said on Thursday, belatedly confirming that meeting between President Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin has been agreed to and will take place in coming days. So they've agreed in principle. This is basically just sort of a big we basically know nothing article, I think. Yes, we have launched work to discuss parameters of such meeting. Yeah, okay, they don't know anything. Okay, right? They don't know anything. Now, everyone has been watching this very, very closely, right? As you can imagine, right? This is potentially huge news. The Russia-Ukraine sort of war has been at a stalemate for ages. Mainly, I mean, you probably get called names. I mean, does anyone care anymore, right? But back at the start, you'd be basically called names for saying, well, look, the Russians really haven't moved on their position at all. And the US just keeps coming to the Russians and being like, look, we know you've got these fundamental principles, but how about this and how about that? And the Russians are just niet, we are winning, we are winning on battlefield, bad Russian accent is much more powerful than drone. We've seen Russia's military output just skyrocket. They're absolutely dominating on the battlefield. They are about to take Pokrovsk and some other very important town. They're dominating, right? And as the Russians sort of started pushing through the last Ukrainian defensive line, the calls from the West to at least have a ceasefire, during which of course Ukraine is going to rearm, have become more and more shrill. And a lot of people pointed out, well, why would the Russians you're just about to beat this person into the dirt? Why are you going to give them 15 minutes to get their breath back, right? So yes, someone asked Putin about this.
Заинтересованность была проявлена с обеих сторон. Кто там какое слово сказал первым, это уже не важно.
Okay, so again, right, they're saying nothing, right? So someone's saying to Putin, so, who suggested this meeting? Putin is I'm not going to tell you, right? This is such a nothing burger of a story.
Просто она будет последующим или, скорее всего, объединит хотя бы минус вес.
У нас много друзей, которые готовы нам помочь организовать мероприятия подобного рода. Потому что на 11 людей президент Объединенных Арабских Эмиратов. Я думаю, что мы решим, но это было бы одним из входящих, вполне подходящих.
А что сделано?
Я уже говорил неоднократно, что я ничего в целом не имею против, это возможно, но для этого должны быть созданы определенные условия. А вот для создания таких условий, к сожалению, пока спасибо.
Thanks for telling us basically nothing there, Vladimir. Like, this was, wait, who the hell is this guy? Ushakov. I'm not sure who this guy is. He's clearly someone in the Russian foreign policy establishment. I really should know this.
Было предложение со стороны американцев, которое нам представляется вполне приемлемым.
А все возможное место встречи какое?
Но я пока не могу говорить, хотя оно, в принципе, определено.
Считанные дни, это значит, уже на следующей неделе? Вы же сказали, дни, а не недели.
Ориентировочно, да, на следующей неделе. Сейчас будем работать, как... Что? Где будет, скажите, я то, что сказал.
А вот Рубио сказал, что теперь есть что обсуждать. То есть сигналы наши.
Вроде прав.
So, looks like something's on the cards, bros. Zelensky, of course, has to get himself in there, right? We can only have one with Zelensky. Now, what triggered the upcoming summit? Now, you may be aware that there was like a deadline that Trump put on, right? Basically, like for the Ukraine war to like cease. Otherwise, he was going to start going around like a sanctioning Godzilla, right? Just sanctioning left and right. The UK was throwing around terms like they would start going after Russia's merchant marine, which they were calling their shadow fleet. But like really, it's only a shadow fleet because it's not insured out of London. And the reason why it's not insured out of London is because they're under sanctions. So, I mean, you know, you see this kind of like stuff, you know, and London is not the important maritime insurance base that it used to be because they started sanctioning all these countries and saying like, oh, well, you can't get insurance with us. So a bunch of other countries are like, well, we'll just set up our own insurance companies, right? This is a tactic, by the way, that the West has been using for ages that is just continues to backfire, right? Much of the West still sort of seem to think that they're in the unipolar moment. In case you don't know what the unipolar moment was, it's basically this brief sort of like 10, 15 year period after the fall of the USSR, when the US was basically conclusively the world's only superpower. And instead of using that superpower to like set up like a fair sort of international system that would work for everyone, they used it to set up a international system that was conclusively biased in their favor and of course Israel's favor. Bit of a wasted opportunity, if you ask me. But if you read stuff from around the time, the Americans were basically like, oh yeah, the unipolar moment, it's never going to end, right? We're never going to die. We're going to be like on top forever. And anyone who said like, this is bullshit was called a commie or something, right? So what is responsible for the sudden meeting, right? Russia wants to avert disproportionate dependence on China. I don't know about that. BRICS is pretty tight. It also wants to beat China to the chase with the new détente. The new détente could geopolitically revolutionize the world. I mean, it could, but then to have a new détente, right? To have like an actual international system, you would have to have a system whereby America and Israel did not get like special preferential treatment for everything, right? It would have to be something that is like literally mostly fair for all the big countries. And I'm not sure if America is willing to take that step just yet. Maybe. I don't know. There might be secret terms attached to the ceasefire, almost certainly, right? We are definitely not going to get like the full version, in my opinion. Putin might really believe that Trump is serious about further escalations. That is possibly true. A lot of people are giving Trump sort of shit for, you know, he says this thing and does another thing, but he has shown to be unpredictable, and sometimes being unpredictable can be an asset in of itself. because you get a reputation as a bit of a loose cannon and no one knows like what the fuck you're going to do. And so people would just be like, oh, look, maybe we just shouldn't piss him off. Never got no idea what he's going to do, right? Russians, the Russians might hold firm because they want to like take over all the 4 oblasts or maybe push all the way to the Dnieper. The front lines might soon collapse to Russia's benefit. This is very, very likely. Ukraine is in really, really dire straits. It's now getting to the point where basically all they've got is propaganda. They've started drafting like the mentally ill and people over 60, and it's like they're basically like in Volksturm territory at the moment. It's fucking sad. Russia wants to scare away Western peacekeepers from deploying in Ukraine. Almost certainly. In fact, this was like a big red line for the Russians. They're like, we don't want any of your peacekeepers in Ukraine. You can take your peacekeepers elsewhere. Okay, so Trump might be offering concessions because he's chickening out. He doesn't really want to go to war with Russia. Remember, there's like the war with Iran and Syria and Lebanon and everything else like that's on the cards. He might have pushed back against people like Lindsey Graham, these sort of, I don't know, they're like the Christian Zionists, like war hawks. They're like a weird bunch, right? I presume their sort of, their basic sort of framing is because we are blessed by God, we can like literally kill anyone on earth we wish. Because that's like, because that's Christianity now, apparently, right? They might be willing to coerce Zelensky. I think this is probably as well, like the thing, like maybe they managed to sort of like finally get to Zelensky, right? I don't know. I mean, look, I imagine dealing with that guy, right? He must just be, again, very unpredictable, recalcitrant, very manipulative. You can't trust what he says. And maybe Trump will get the Nobel Peace Prize. I could actually see that appealing a lot to Trump, right? Let's see, what else have we got? Now, Zelensky has come out and said it's time to end the war. Now, this is a big movement, of course, from Zelensky, who is traditionally always like, Slava Ukraini, we can have peace only when we push the Russians out of Ukraine and reclaim all of our lost territory, including Crimea. Which is just not, it's not going to, like, you and what army? Us and this army. Most of your army is dead. Like, I mean, dude. But what if we got Americans to give their army? What if Europeans decide to give their army? And the Americans and the Europeans just like, don't bring us into this, man. Like, we got our own troubles, right? So basically, Zelensky had like another one of these like meetings. He's been going around phoning all of the Western leaders, being like, "Hello, Slava Ukraine, I need more money." And apparently, he just had like a big meeting with the IMF, and the IMF is like, "Oh yeah, sure, we'll give you a shitload of money to rebuild Ukraine." So it looks like they're starting to, the Ukrainians anyway, are starting to focus on like the reconstruction effort. At which point, they will get a shitload of money from these international organizations like the IMF, and presumably the gravy train can keep rolling on. And I don't know, maybe Zelensky will retire to the Maldives or Israel or, somewhere nice, basically, right? However, Putin, of course, Putla, that goddamn Putla, said that conditions for a future meeting with Zelensky had not been met. Goddamn Putla. Goddamn Putla. Always getting in the way of these negotiations. Putla says basically he's only going to show up if to a surrender meeting. Like, that's the only like reason he'll meet Zelensky, is to watch him sign a surrender agreement. This is Zelensky. He spoke with Trump right after Witkoff spoke with Putin. Our joint position with our partners is absolutely clear. The war must end, and it must be done honestly. I mean, what does that mean, right? Like, this is the thing about Zelensky. He's not like Putin, where like, if Putin doesn't want you to know something, he'll just be intentionally vague. Whereas what Zelensky does is he just uses words with like a lot of like wiggle room, right? So when he says it must be done honestly, what the fuck does he mean, right? Like this is like when, when the climate retards talk about a just transition, right? I mean, they're going to take all of your shit and give it to the Browns, right? European leaders are on the call, and I'm grateful to each of them for their support. Well, of course, they have to support you, don't they? We discussed what was spelled out in Moscow. Ukraine will definitely defend its independence. We all need a lasting and reliable peace, right? They're not going to be independent. They want to join the European Union, right? Like that's their whole shtick, right? We need a lasting and reliable peace. What does that mean? Russia must end the war that itself started. Again, what is that? So I don't know what the fuck Zelensky means here. Did we just get an entropy? We did. $3 from Years Unique. Thank you very much, Years. I don't think Putin plans to take any L whatsoever. Ukraine has no leverage and can't fight much longer. He knows all he has to do is keep up his posture and pressure to get what he wants from the war. Well, that's exactly right, Yes. Indeed. Thank you very much for the super chat. Wait, let me get you like a... How about a dancing Stalin? Yes? Enjoy. There is no limit. Come on. Dancing Stalin. You too can have an amusing sticker and donate towards my mental health beer fund by clicking linky in descripty and sending money. I promise that it will all go towards therapy beers and not towards my private island. I'm getting YouTube to pay for that with my 500 subscribers. Bro, I'm on my way. I'm on my way 500 subscribers. I'm not even there yet, actually, right? But I'm close. I'm not a private island. It's so close. I can smell it. Oh my God. Total Blackout Painting for $25 for therapy beers, bro. Thank you so much, Total Blackout Painting. Oh, you definitely need the anime dancing girl. Where is it? Right. She was talking to me before the show, TBP, and saying how much she admired your incredible super chat stamina, right? How she wishes that she was with you there in the US so she could shake it for you. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. So no, I won't play the Invader Zim thing. But do donate. J Chief Loophole, did you get a bump in viewers from Jimmy Dawes mention? I'm not sure. I got a couple of subs. But that tweet is still getting likes. Twitter actually locked my account briefly because they thought I was botting, and then I appealed it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, you're not botting. You just did this one tweet that just blew up." So yeah, so that was a bit weird. Right. So this is the actual sort of important part. Okay. Now, according to Polish outlet Onet, Moscow received a favorable ceasefire proposal from Trump's circle, allegedly coordinated with European powers, that have the following key terms. A ceasefire, not peace. I'm not sure the Russians are going to go for that. De facto recognition of Russia's territorial gains. They're going to like that. With formal talks delayed for 50 to 100 years. So basically on the ground recognition, but actual formal recognition, they're gonna like push that like way into the future. Most sanctions will be dropped, including the return of Russian oil and gas to the European Union. Well, the EU will be very happy about that, Germany in particular, because they are literally destroying their entire industrial base, trying to like sanction Russia. No NATO non-expansion pledge. The Russians aren't going to like that. On the other hand, where is NATO going to expand to, right? They're already basically expanded as far east as they can go. Continued US military aid to Ukraine. This is reportedly acceptable to Russia. I don't know what's in the fine print. Unclear if Russia will accept. Again, community note says that this is an unreliable thing, but the reason I put this in is because these are actually sort of concrete proposals, right? It's not just some like, oh, bro, we got to stop the war, bro. We all have to band together and smoke a lot of weed, and then we stop the war. No, this is actually concrete proposals. So I'm curious to see whether that's going to like work. That's about the tariffs. The That's about the possible attacks on Russia's fleet. And our second story. We're running a bit late, but let's see. So Gaza is basically a car park now. Again, not all, hashtag not all Gaza, basically, right? Like, ITV, someone from ITV basically got, this is from a few weeks ago, by the way, this isn't highly new footage, but they managed to get on an aid flight because for a while, basically the UK started like dropping food into Gaza because people were fucking starving to death. And even the UK was like saying to Israel, like, look, like, we love you, right? Obviously, you've got all that blackmail on us and you completely control our political systems. We love you so much. But even we cannot just like sit there and watch you starve like millions of people to death, right? Like, I mean, look, obviously you're Israel, right? Obviously, right, you get a free pass to do whatever you want. But like, this is a bit too much. Oh, we got on a super chat. $3 from Mikey Bikey for the talk with Aidan Paladin. Thank you very much, Mikey. I hope you liked it. I had fun doing that. I'm going to try and do more interviews. Because, I've made so many, like, cool friends. And, it'd be nice to just, do some more interviews. So this is what Gaza looks like from the air. Now, the incredible improvement. Most humane army on the face of the earth, bro. Look, I get that it's war, but the thing about Israel, right, is it's just a bit rich for them on the one hand to talk about, my World War II suffering and we're the most like moral people on earth and no, and then turn around and like do this, right? If they were just like, oh yeah, we're just like anybody else, right? We're just another country, right? Yes, we go to war, like, but it would be one thing, okay? But to pretend to be the most moral people in the world and do this, I think this is what causes a lot of the cognitive dissonance for people. Mikey Bikey, I did. Newsfist was very good. Oh, thank you very much, Mikey. I'm glad you liked it.
Building by building, Gaza is being erased. Cities like broken skeletons laid waste by war. Graveyards of life and lives. The streets, homes and coffee houses of old, now cast to the ground. The soul of this place, along with the souls who lived here, brought to ruin in the rubble and dust. Israel bans foreign journalists from entering Gaza. 15,000 feet above is the closest we get to seeing for ourselves the consequences of the war it is waging here. When we joined an airdrop last week, Israel also tried to restrict images from above being filmed or shown. Aid being dropped from this flight is to those who are trying to survive in this hell. This was Gaza before the bombs started falling, a place of life, where normal lives were lived. There is no sign of that normality now. This is one of the explosions which destroyed Gaza. Targeting the Turkish Palestine Friendship Hospital, the only specialist cancer hospital in Gaza. This is what's left of it now. This was the Al Wafa Old People's Home. We can't say what's become of its residents. This was a primary and secondary school. We can't say what became of the pupils.
I'm sure the pupils are fine, right? Like they're probably hanging out on the beach, drinking margaritas, right? Like, oh my god, why do you always go there and assume something bad's happened to them just because, right? Like everything's a bombed out ruin. Oh my god, right? Like, look, they're probably fine, right? Hanging out in like a Hamas tunnel, like eating tapas, right? I hear they've got like lovely cafes under there and stuff. Oh my god. Look, it's a war, okay? Like, I get it, it's a war, right? I mean, I'm not, but like, dude.
Many of the other ruins were homes. We can't say whether those that lived here survived, or are among the 60,000 now dead. Under international law, it is a war crime to target schools, hospitals, and other civilian sites.
Yeah, well, you gotta understand, there's war crimes, and there's war crimes. Like, there's war crimes when, like, normal countries do it, and there's war crimes when countries that are, like, protected by the United States do it, right? It's they're very, very different, right? And right, like before anyone gets all like they're using hospitals and this is one of the problems with the way that sort of like war crimes legislation is sort of like written. Is that it, sort of because war is the way it is. If you create these areas that you can't attack, then don't be surprised that people use them, right? Like all of these laws, the laws of war, right, were written primarily for white European countries when they were going to war in Europe, right? And when they were like, oh yeah, Sir Fotheringham, we're going to go to war. Well, we can't just go to war without any rules. Let's have some rules, right? I mean, okay, that's a bit of a over exaggeration. This was after World War I when things got a little bit Amstrad, but you get what I'm saying, right?
This landscape of destruction looks otherworldly, yet it's not. It is this world, and what is happening may yet come to define one of its darkest eras, one that casts a stain on humanity, which will endure for generations.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say cast a stain on humanity that would endure for generations. Oh, mate, you're flying a bit close to the sun there. You're going to get your bank account shut down if you're not fucking careful. Livia Drusilla, Hamas should face facts. They lost. They would have done the same to Israel if they could. Yes, indeed. They would have done the same to Israel if they could. That is absolutely true. I don't know, like, whether you can say they've lost per se. I mean, they still have some of the hostages. I mean, the plan is to swap them out for the PLO, and then, it'll take like years to, have an election and na. I don't know. This is like, I mean, this is the problem with resistance movements in general, right? The terms of winning and losing are not really the same. Like, when you've got sort of like two peer competitor armies, guerrilla warfare is like a whole other thing. But yes, they do seem to have had their asses handed to them. But see, again, Gaza City is still a thing, right? And, one of the sort of premier tactics in guerrilla warfare is to try and bait a stronger opponent onto a field that you control, right? Where you can utilize sort of like, smaller numbers and force of arms and all this kind of other stuff. And I'm sure many people in the IDF are aware of this, and they're like, you want us to go into fucking Gaza City? Are you insane, right? They're gonna like anyway. So this is the announcement. That Netanyahu basically has announced that they are going to take over the entire Gaza Strip and rule it permanently. Now, mate, this is going to be very messy and very ugly. I'm sure the Israelis are basically thinking, look, we'll just bulldoze everything like flat. Even so, this could take years. How many soldiers are gonna, die as a result? Does the IDF even have the will to do this? Netanyahu's position seems to be increasingly undermined. I don't know. Basically, apparently the Israelis are very, very worried that all of this war is affecting the ability of the Gazans to be able to like get any work done and focus. And so in an effort to help them concentrate better, they are setting up these camps that will help them concentrate in the south of Gaza. I believe the plan basically is to raise everything else and just push them into these like camps, ghettos, I mean, the irony is not lost. So the IDF Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Elal Zamir, reportedly sharply disagreed with Prime Minister Netanyahu during a 3-hour-long Security Cabinet meeting Wednesday, where the question of what's next in Gaza was hotly debated. Zamir presented various options after widespread reports that Netanyahu is ready to pull the trigger on the full conquest and permanent occupation of the Gaza Strip, even if this endangers the remaining living hostages. Now, my personal opinion on this is that the most likely explanation for Netanyahu's behavior, and indeed the behavior of his government, is that they are basically religious fanatics, right? So it's not really about things like feasibility and troop losses. It's about like, migrate to Israel and, we were promised this land and all this kind of like other stuff. This has been a noted feature of Netanyahu's rulership, apparently, that people who disagree with him get like yeeted. I think this guy has been fired or is on the verge of being fired for sort of commenting on this like stuff. Yeah, so Netanyahu has made the call, right? However, Zamir has reported to have pushed back, saying you're entering a trap in Gaza. Now, this is absolutely true, right? Going into Gaza City, right, is going to have Hamas like just rubbing their hands. They're going to be like, oh, mate, this is because they're, because it's not like Hamas give a fuck about the ordinary Palestinians either, right? Like it's, oh my God. Yeah, it's going to, the Army Chief of Staff argued that this will significantly endanger the lives of the hostages. I don't know how many are left now, honestly, and cause the army to burn out. Whether the Netanyahu government really cares about the hostages or not is open to interpretation, given things like the Hannibal Directive and what happened on October 7th and all the people that died. I don't know. Despite the many, many Hamas militants that have been killed, there's still a bunch of them. I mean, because this is the point, right? Like, Hamas is now effectively the Palestinian population, right? So it's true fifth generational warfare, right? There's no way really to distinguish between the civilian population and the militia population unless you kill every single fighting age male in Gaza, right? Or something like that. And then you probably have like the women like doing suicide bombings or stabbings or something. Yeah, they're crazy, right? So apparently Netanyahu was offered a bunch of different options and he was like, no, we're doing the invasion. This is Gaza City. As you can see, it's still sort of mostly intact. It is a very large, very, very sort of like, windy city. And I expect the way that they imagine taking it is they're just going to like bulldoze everything flat. Which is gonna piss off everybody in the West as well. Obviously, we'll provide like more footage for everyone in the West to be like, oh my God, we hate Israel. No. Like this is, optics wise, this is really, really bad. This is Netanyahu on Fox News, basically saying, we're gonna hand it over to the Gazans and they're gonna have a good life. I mean, why even pretend that you care? Like, I mean, really, like...
Will Israel take control of all of Gaza?
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we want to do. We want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the awful terror of Hamas. And you were in the Gaza Strip today. You met Palestinians who are fighting Hamas because finally they see that they have a future. They can rid themselves of this awful tyranny that not only holds our hostages, but holds 2 million Palestinians in Gaza hostage. That's got to end.
Are you saying today that you will take control of the entire 26-mile Gaza Strip, as it was 20 years ago to this month in 2005?
Well, we don't want to keep it. We want to have a security perimeter. We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly without threatening us and giving Gazans a good life. That's not possible with Hamas.
So yeah, right. There have been various plans floated. They'll hand it back to the PLO. They'll get surrounding countries to govern it. So it'd be like Egypt, Jordan, well, not Lebanon, obviously, because Israel's having a bit of a melty about Lebanon as per usual. The IDF has issued evacuation notices to residents of Gaza City. That's not a good fucking sign. 4 areas in the Daraj and Tufan neighborhoods in Gaza City. I don't know where that is. Calling on residents to move to the humanitarian zone in Al-Mawasi. This is the place where the Gazans are allowed to like concentrate better away from the sounds of the bombing. The IDF is operating vigorously in this area anyone still there should evacuate immediately for their personal safety. So it's on like flan, as they say. Now, this is from 4chan. This is a really, really good thread where they like went through like a bunch of Israeli media. Apparently, a lot of people in Israel are very, very upset by this. Netanyahu is sort of acting in an increasingly dictatorial manner. There's protests breaking out all around Israel. There's not a lot of footage of them. They have allegedly started drafting the Haredi, the Orthodox curly-haired ones. This is going down quite badly as well. Apparently they've been trying to do the Ukraine thing where they like send like vans around to like, like snatch them off the street. But the Haredi are just, they're just not going out or whatever. Like, so, that hasn't been working all too well. Does Netanyahu seriously intend to launch a full-scale assault following troops in Gaza remaining in largely static positions for months? This is a good point. There is a fairly simple way to tell. To seize control of the remaining quarter of Gaza's territory and maneuver within the areas where Israel pushed some 2 million Palestinians, more troops are needed, and regular units, many of which Zamir recently pulled from Gaza because he wanted them to have a respite, are unlikely to suffice. Consequently, Israel will likely have no choice but to call up more reservists in defiance of all previous plans. And it's entirely likely that they're thinking of drawing from the Haredi population to do this. I'm not sure, like, the Haredi are going to make very good soldiers, to be honest, man, right? Like, I don't know, right? Deploying these new troops to Gaza would take around 2 weeks. 2 more weeks, bros! But fully occupying the rest of the territory and effectively cleansing it of armed militants, and presumably flattening it, could take a year or two. As long as there are no significant troop movements, we should remain skeptical. Zamir has been voicing his opposition to fully occupying Gaza for over a month. Aside from his concerns for the lives of the hostages and soldiers and his warnings of new problems overseas, he has made other important and concrete argument. The IDF is facing a serious problem of burnout among its combat troops. Apparently, this is a really fucking big deal. The IDF, they've just been rotating these same troops like in and out, and they're all like fried. At a time when the number of reservists showing up for duty has fallen steeply, as has conscript soldiers' motivation, an army could struggle finding the troops needed for a full occupation. This came in today. Israel and Egypt have just signed the largest gas deal in Israel's history, worth $35 billion from the Leviathan field, which I believe is just off the coast of Gaza. Well, it's Israel's now. So yes, there's been wide-scale protests breaking out after the announcement of this plan. People are not happy about this. Let me see. What the hell is this? Okay, I don't know why that. Yes, here we go. Netanyahu says Israel will control all of Gaza until Hamas is removed. Security Cabinet discusses occupation plans. These are some of the protests happening in Jerusalem. This is in front of the Cabinet office. Apparently, they've been blocking roads and stuff. I haven't been able to get any footage, though. Now, this is something that you're seeing increasingly in Israeli media. Suicide rates among IDF personnel are going spiking. A lot of them have PTSD. Look, the fundamental problem is this, right? I knew a dude who was in Afghanistan, right? And he was telling me about what happens when you have to clear a building that's been occupied for a while and the people in there have had time to set up booby traps and fortifications and stuff like that, right? And he said that to clear a building, right, you would lose about 40% of your men because you're just on such uneven sort of territory, right? Because they've had all this time to prepare. booby traps, all this kind of like stuff. They know exactly where everything is, and you're coming in blind. You've got to like do it like very, very quickly. So the amount of like losses that you take doing this is extreme. This is why he was saying in Afghanistan, a lot of the time they just level the building instead of trying to go in. Now this might be what Netanyahu is basically planning. They're just going to like level the rest of like Gaza, just blow the rest of it up, and then just, start killing anyone left. This was sort of expressed as the idea that they were going to like push everyone into the concentration camp. And then at a certain point, they just say like, right, anyone who isn't in the camp is now an enemy combatant, and just start indiscriminately killing anyone that's left. Right. So, that's some great news. Very, very cheerful. Our final story of the night, a much, much more cheerful story. Rachel Reeves facing now a £50 billion black hole as tax pressure mounts. Don't you remember strong and stable foundations? It seems so long ago, bros. Yeah, about a year, right? When Labour got in and they're like, look at the mismanagement under the Tories. They had a £22 billion black hole, which they then turn around and basically donated to like carbon capture projects. 22 billion for sucking carbon out of the air. Because, why the fuck not, right? Chancellor on course to miss targets and spending promises as finances plunge deeper into the red. Rachel Reeves must raise taxes immediately to plug a fresh $50 billion hole in the public finances, according to one of Britain's most respected economics organisations, the National Institute of Economic and Social Research, which apparently was formed by a Labour government back in the day. So you would expect that they would be on the side of Labour, generally speaking. They're all very sort of like lefty Keynesian economics kind of like people. The Chancellor is now on course to miss her borrowing targets by £41 billion. What's £41 billion between friends, right? It seems overblown to me, right? If she wants to restore the £9.9 billion of headroom maintained since last year's budget, Reeves must therefore raise taxes or cut spending by $51 billion. They are not going to cut spending, which means tax rises for everyone. When I first heard this, I thought the most likely thing they're going to do is raise VAT, because VAT is one of the ways that you can capture the entire economic activity of a country, right? VAT in the UK is 20%, right? So not only do you get taxed when you get paid, you also get taxed when you spend that money. It's bullshit, right? This is bound to work. This is bound to work, and not like make things like incredibly worse or anything, right? These people never fucking understood the Laffer curve. Oh yes, this think tank was literally founded by John Maynard Keynes. Okay, so to say that it's Keynesian economics is like, current budget deficit as share of GDP. God, you can't believe any of these fucking numbers. Their economic model is highly respected globally. Blah 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 blah. It's gonna suck. Oh, what a difference a year makes in politics. I mean, look, say what you want about the Conservatives and the horrible shit they did to the UK. At least there was a functioning economy. Now you've got like everything's terrible and you don't even have a functioning economy. Well done, bros. Well done. Yeah. Scale of tax rises required would be equivalent to a 5% increase in income tax. They're probably going to like spread it out and do like a bunch of like other stuff. Great. And they're now going to like force you to pay taxes on any interest that you make, saving money. It's great. It's great. And this story as well. You fucking believe this? Bunch of countries now are basically like saying, we would advise you like not to travel to the UK. Things are pretty hairy over there. Australia, France, Canada, and even Mexico are advising their citizens to exercise caution when traveling to the UK. They've basically put up like travel advisories, particularly about London. Just because how bad London is, basically, right? It's mainly due to like people's phones getting stolen, which of course is much worse if you're a tourist, right? Because all all your stuff is on there, right? Like, you're from a foreign country, you probably still like got a foreign SIM. Your phone gets stolen, you're basically screwed. I presume you just got to go to the embassy and I don't know, like, how they loan you like a mobile phone or something like that. Conversations about soaring robbery and theft rates in London are commonplace for Australian travellers visiting the UK. Everyone knows of somebody in Australia who has had their phone stolen in London. It's definitely common to hear warnings in Australia. Everyone knows that. Gee, what is it about London that's changed, bros? It's the same city that it's always been. I mean, you can just imagine, like, tourists like still thinking, oh, London. Oh yeah, I saw it on Doctor Who, right? And they're like, just like wandering around, like, gee, why does this whole place look like Bangladesh now? Despite the warnings, Samuel became one of 80,000 people whose phones were stolen in London last year. It's more than that. The locals don't really even bother like reporting it to the police anymore. Like, what's the fucking point? If you don't have insurance, then what's the point? They're not going to do anything. Walking up a flight of stairs at Euston Station with his mobile in his back pocket. See, bitch move. Don't walk in London with your phone in your back pocket, right? Like, what do you think you're in somewhere safe like a Mogadishu? You think you're like walking around Kabul? No, this is London, bitch. He noticed he had been pickpocketed when he reached the top. The experience had such an impact on him that he still finds himself checking his pockets in Australia, even though phone theft is non-existent out there. Don't worry, Australia bros. Don't worry. Soon, Melbourne will be exactly the same, right? Like, I've got faith in you, Australia bros, right? So yeah, the government's the Australian government's increased their like travel advisory. Mobile phone thefts are like rising. I mean, it's London, right? And and of course, like, the Home Office is like, oh, there's been a massive spike in like crime. We will refuse to accept this, but we also won't really do anything about it, like stopping all the people coming in who are like doing it, because that would be racist. So, awesome. And apparently, of course, it's much worse if you've got an Apple, which makes sense, right? Like, iPhones are the to-go ones. Have a cheap phone, basically, right? Like, I mean, not to put you fine a point on it, but this is the thing in London, right? You don't dress up when you're walking around London, right? If you are in London, you want to look poor. You definitely do not want to look wealthy. Don't wear watches. Don't wear jewelry. Don't have an expensive phone. Just don't look like you've got money, basically, right? You just want to look as poor as possible, and then it's less likely anyone will like mess with you, right? Which is why it's such a lovely city to be in, obviously, right? Knife crime. Yep, I love it here. Edie Wolf, aren't these stolen phones useless because they're locked? I don't know about that. I suspect they're probably doing to them like what they do with cars, just taking them apart and just selling on the bits, right? And then you wouldn't really, you wouldn't have to like actually use the whole phone. You could just like rip them for parts and then sell them to the literally hundreds of thousands of mobile phone repair shops all across like London. That would be my guess. I don't know, but that would be my guess. Yeah, see, look, also when wearing jewelry, mention that they should be careful. Yeah, just don't wear jewelry, right? Like, just don't wear jewelry. Don't have anything nice. It'll get nicked. So anyway, that's that's the news for tonight. Hope you enjoyed that. You know what that means, bros. It's time for some cringe. Where's my bloody thing? Right. Now all over China knows you appreciate a cringe. Yes, that's it. That's my crap Chinese accent. Let's see, what have we got? We do have some cringe. Speaking of the horrors of London, here's Suckdeek Khan talking about how he would take Donald Trump out to like Tower Hamlets and show him the benefits of diversity.
Come to London and let me show him around our wonderful diverse communities. Let me take him on the Pride March this coming summer, next summer. Let me take him to a mosque. Let me take him to some of our diverse communities and understand that actually it is perfectly compatible to be a Westerner and to be a Muslim. It is perfectly compatible to treat women with respect and to be a leader and to be a man. It's perfectly compatible to be somebody who, disagrees, but disagrees agreeably. Of course, we're in one homogenous society. You haven't discussed politics, but we have differences. That's fine. That's the joy of a democracy. Pluralism is a good thing. But the idea that you get abusive, you use the power you've got of having the millions of followers he has to get people to spread hatred against me is just, I think, not. It lets down the position of being president. It lets down the position that the White House gives to people when they become president. Also, it forgets the rich histories of our two countries.
Well, good luck getting Donald Trump to a Pride March. That's the optimism.
This disingenuous scumbag. Right, like, it just degrades the position of the president. Might I remind you, right, that the last time, I don't know if it was the last time Trump was in the UK, but one time, like, I think during his first term when Trump came to the UK, Khan funded, like, this huge, like, blow-up Donald Trump, right, wearing, like, diapers, right, to, like, float over, like, the city of London, right? So, mate, I mean, how do you know Sadiq Khan is lying? He's got his mouth open, right? He's like, he's just, oh my God. I can't wait until they can get rid of him. But when they do get rid of him, he's probably going to be replaced by his deputy, Meet Toban, or whatever his name is, which is basically like a mini Sadiq. So, now, it's not often we have Trump on the cringe program, on the cringe section. Check this shit out.
You were the driving force behind Operation Warp Speed, these mRNA vaccines that are the gold standard. Right. Now your health secretary is pulling back all the funding for research. He's saying that the risks outweigh the benefits, which puts him at odds with the entire medical community and with you. What is going on?
Research on what?
Into mRNA vaccines.
Well, we're going to look at that. We're talking about it, and they're doing a very good job. And, that is a pass. Operation Warp Speed was, whether you're Republican or Democrat, considered one of the most incredible things ever done in this country. The efficiency, the way it was done, the distribution, everything about it has been amazing. But, that was now a long time ago, and we're on to other things. But we are speaking about it. We have meetings.
Bros, COVID was a long time ago, bros. We're on to other things now. It's best, really, that you just forget about it, right? Like, we've got more important things now than, who, like, developed a bioweapon for who, and, like, just don't worry about it, bros. I don't know about you, I'm still not ready to forget, right? I'm not feeling the healing, right, that time is supposed to, like, give. I'm still a bit bent out of shape about that entire incident, personally, but, it's fine, right? Like Donnie says, right? Like, we've got other things to worry. Don't look back in anger, bros.
It's about it in tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and we'll determine. We're looking for other answers to other problems, to other sicknesses and diseases, and I think we're doing really well. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Now, this is because RFK defunded a bunch of projects to make mRNA vaccines for other diseases. I believe they are switching back to inactivated virus vaccines, which is what they should have fucking done in the first place, right? Like, honestly, like, what the fuck, right? This whole idea of getting the body to produce the antigen, not the antigen, the thing that you develop the antigen to, by itself is fucking retarded on the face of it. They would have been much better pumping that research into different ways to, like, make whole inactivated viruses, or maybe, like, just construct, like, viral proteins from the ground up in order to stimulate an immune response, right? But, oh no, they're all like, we got to get the bioweapon going out, right? The spike protein, so hot right now. Oh my God. This is pretty funny. So one of the guys from GB News went to talk to Antifa at one of the migration protests. As you can imagine, Antifa were considered and polite. Their arguments well honed. Enjoy.
Got a few minutes for a quick word?
Off you go. You're not welcome.
We're allowed in here, actually.
You're not welcome here.
Okay, we managed to get inside the pen. The police let us in with our press passes. Let's speak to this guy here. Excuse me. Hi. I liked your sign. You want a quick chat? What does your sign say, sir? Tear down borders. It says tear down borders. Hi, guys. Oh, that's not very nice. We're just here to... Hello, sir. Fancy a quick chat? We're just asking what you want to happen to the hotel.
No, you can talk to one of the chief stewards. See the guys in the orange vest?
The orange vest. Thank you.
Your GB News.
Yes. How you doing? You okay?
No, I don't want to talk to you, thank you.
Oh, you just came up to me? You don't want us to?
No.
Oh.
Off, please.
That's okay.
If you want to talk to me, hang on, I'll find you someone.
You don't need to be so angry.
Why wouldn't you be so angry?
You don't need to be angry.
Over here.
You got a few minutes for a quick word?
Off you go. You're not welcome.
We're allowed in here, actually.
You're not welcome here.
I'm sorry, we're allowed in here. Are you from Stand Up to Racism? You want a quick conversation? You're here on a counter protest. Would you like a quick conversation? We were told to speak to you, sir, as one of the organisers. Would you like a quick word? Seems strange that you come down here with a counter protest. You've got a big security presence, big police presence, and you don't want to talk about things.
You're fascist. I mean, I personally, right, I hope they continue doing this, right? Because they are just massively delegitimizing the far left by, like, doing this. So keep doing what you're doing, bros. I'm sure, like, you know, everyone will get around to your point of view by being, like, bullied. Today's Basketball American Post. I can't believe this. I mean, I can believe this is a real thing. But, like, a watermelon, like, the joke's just right. Like, what is the chicken challenge now? Apparently, this is the watermelon challenge, right? Apparently, this is a real thing.
It's going down. New watermelon challenge. What y'all ready to do? Don't try this shit at home. Look at me. You look at me. 10. 9. 8.
I mean, who could have foreseen such an outcome, right? Like, I mean, I was surprised as you were by that, bros. Fucking hell, man. Now, apparently, this is fake, but it's also, like, incredibly cool. I, like, watched this a bunch of times, so enjoy. Look at that snatch, right? And it proves that literally anything in the world can be made better if you put some decent funk music underneath it. So, you know, I don't know, right? But anyway, cool. Very slick. Right, we got a couple of based things for you. See, this is the kind of shit that I miss about America. God bless you, Ameribros. You couldn't do that fucking shit in the UK. Yeah! It's the way I feel after I've, like, just dumped, like, you know,
200 rounds of 5.56 downrange. Yeah! Oh my God. It's the most American thing I've seen for a while. Oh yeah, no, this is good. AI, but also funny.
Thank you very much. Thank you for those kind words, Mark Wayne. Thank you to Jim O'Neill, to Tom Josnek, to Marty McCary, and to Wendy as well. Thank you for that, for sharing your story. It's with a heavy heart that I'm announcing that the conspiracy theorists were right again. COVID mRNA vaccines caused a litany of injuries, including but not limited to turbo cancer, heart failure, extreme blood clotting, and perhaps gayness. That's a chicken and egg problem that we're still investigating. The implications are substantial, and there's no easy way to say this. Anthony Fauci is a goblin, and if you weren't gay prior to taking the vaccine, there's a massive chance that your sudden desire to binge the Bravo channel and watch Tim Walz rallies isn't an accident.
So, we now have confirmation of what caused the massive rise of gayness throughout the West. Right, yeah, funny videos now. Enjoy.
Wow, I could really go for a cup of tea.
Truly amazing. What else have we got?
Тони-Старк собрал мини-реактор «Щитя в яме» из металлолома!
Это наш билет отсюда. Что это? Вот, посмотрите. Впечатляет.
Но простите, я не Тони-Старк.
Тони-Старк собрал мини-реактор «Щитя в яме».
I mean, you know, gay, but functional, right?
Who can drink 20 liters of gas without getting sick? Jerry can.
That's just stupid, but also funny. I feel like I'm gonna go to hell for laughing at this, but holy shit, this is really funny.
Where's the money, Lebowski? You want that money, Lebowski? Bonnie says you're good for it. Where's the fucking money, shithead?
It's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
Where's the money, Lebowski? You want that money, Lebowski? Bonnie says you're good for it. Where's the fucking money, shithead?
Oh, dude. What else have we got? Oh, yeah. Sadie Sapiente sent me these. This is quite a long one. Enjoy.
No sign of the suspect. Guy next door, though, looks like a prime target. That is profiling. No, it's selectively observing patterns in skin tone, in face tattoos, I do see a kid in the house, though. Appears to be about 4. You think he's running the drug operation?
He's got to be at least 6 to even work the weed farms.
How many donuts you gonna eat?
Never let a stereotype go to waste.
Hit me with the suspect's deets. Well, says here he's a loving father, small business owner, farmer, backbone of the country. Wait, sorry, that was a CNN article. Here we go. 14 arrests. Drug trafficking, kidnapping, assault, rape. Why does the left support these people again?
Are you looking for a more professional answer than stupidity?
Where were those people when Obama deported 3 million?
They came down with political amnesia.
This guy's got better health care than I do. Probably a good thing, though. It says here he's in bed with multiple sclerosis 13. I don't think that stands for MS 13. Never mind.
You know you got the most dangerous job when you got to deal with those monsters.
Well, statistically, the most dangerous job is being Obama's chef. Almost everybody dies. How come every street in Blue Cities looks like the entrance to the United Nations?
Makes them feel like they're making a difference without actually doing anything.
Like giving a homeless person a high five.
Purchasing is expensive. It's cheaper to love America. You only got to buy one flag.
He was given a free smartphone, too? Other countries throw you in prison for breaking the law. We give you an unlimited data plan.
I have 2 years till mine is paid off. I have cell phone debt.
Those are just to keep in touch with their case managers and schedule immigration court hearings. Where is this guy?
You should have just gone to Home Depot. You can get them in bulk there.
See, I don't love going after those putting in effort. Makes us look like Homeland Insecurity.
We're arresting a violent criminal. We're not calling in a drone strike on a fruit vendor.
If we didn't have open borders for 4 years, we wouldn't have to do this. How do we get the world to see the reality of what we're facing?
Send in Coldplay.
Well, one thing's for certain, we'll have this guy before we have the Epstein files. We won't have him if he doesn't come out.
Or if he sits on Pam Bondi's desk.
We can't touch the guy until he's in public.
Unless, of course, you bust down the door and yell, "I have anxiety."
What?
Works for Pedro Pascal.
Well, something needs to happen. I have an online pickleball lesson this afternoon.
Yeah, we're just loitering. If I wanted to waste taxpayer money, I'd run for Congress.
Shh, wait. A car full of heavily tatted shirtless men with firearms just pulled up. It's go time. Well, wait. Let's not jump to conclusions. According to CNN, it's probably just a Bible study.
Let's see what else we got. Yeah, this is good. Fitness foods.
Hey, I'm here to educate you today on how health food works. The harder it is to pronounce, the healthier it is for you. For instance, if it's chocolate, it's bad. If it's cacao, it's good. If it's ice cream, it's bad. If it's acai, it's good. And last but not least, if it's rice, it's bad. But if it's quinoa, it's good. These last two are actually so difficult to pronounce that they're actually considered superfoods. I hope this helps you, fat piece of shit.
Right, we got some like animal ones now. This is pretty cool. Aw, happy ending. Let's see what else we got. Random cats.
Where are you going? Yeah, bad idea, dude.
He's on a journey. Oh, this is really cute. Turkey, apparently.
Bir şeyler verdim sana sokakta. Bak diyemem ben sana ya. Ben sana o zaman ne vereyim ben? Dur bakalım. Gel. Dur bakalım. Dalak sever misin? Kan yapar. Şöyle yapalım. Bir parça dalaktan verelim. Tamam mı? Yeter mi? Al bakalım.
Aw. Yeah, that'd be me if I had a butcher shop as well. Look at the little gentleman. He's so cute. More random cats. Washing machine cat. If only you could harness this power somehow. Very cute.
Wow, I keep getting tickled. Stop, stop, I'm so ticklish. Stop, stop, I'm so ticklish.
Really needs like some music. But you know, cute nonetheless. Let's see. What else? Husky watching TV. Oh, who doesn't like these? Oh man, that's such a cute husky. I did not realize that dogs loved Asian food this much. And our final cute animal video of the night, Cat in Cup.
Ballerina cappuccina. Mi 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 mi. È la moglie di Cappuccino Assassino. E ama la musica la 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 la. La sua passione è il ballerino lololo. Ballerina cappuccina.
Aw, it's so cute. Right, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. I'll be on Empire of Lies in about an hour and a half. Let's say goodbye to everyone in the chat on Rumble. Teabagging Therapist, Mikey Bikey, Seti Sapiente, Total Blackout Painting. Oh, hey Teabagging, you just made it, mate. Captain Crisps, J Chiva Loophole, Full Short, Livia Drusilla, Mikey Bikey. Who else have we got? Is that everybody on Rumble? Ardent Party, of course. Can't forget the party. Edie Wolf, good to see ya. Wyatt's Torch. Captain Crisps. Did I already mention you? Oh, I forget my brain. Proper Pictures. Good to see you, Proper Pictures. Haven't seen you in a while, mate. Hope you're well. I think that's everybody on YouTube. Linda Hunter, Sonny Jim, Ashley Styles, 007, Robert Verlinden. Who else we got? Simon JJ. Good to see you, mate. Oh yes, and thank you so much for the super chats, guys, I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Total Blackout Painting. I appreciate it. LLLL as well, of course. People doing end towers in the chat. Melon Towers. Years, of course, has gone. I think that's everybody. If there's anyone I forgot, I do apologize. And of course, for the super chats, we had Mikey Bikey, Total Blackout Painting, and Years the Eunuch. And on Odyssey, Clint Wayne, Highland Fall, Roadie One. I think that's everyone. Thanks for coming, Odyssey Bros. Right, so yes, I'll see you Empire of Lies tonight. Oh, also, don't forget to check out Artie and Fist tomorrow night on Rhetorically Defective's channel at 11 p.m. London time. I think that's 6 p.m. East Coast time. That should be fun as well. I think we're doing Saul Alinsky, but I'm not 100% sure. Sades, maybe if you could like drop Rhetorically Defective's channel in the chat. It's just like a stream. Oh, Streaky Bacon, I forgot to say hello to you, and Lyndon Hunter as well. Thanks, bros. And I'll see you all. Well, a couple of hours, I guess. Good night, bros.